Hey, groovy people, I'm John. I'm a retired math teacher. This is a shout out to Ashley. This is part two. If you haven't seen part one, please go back and look at part one right before this lesson right here, you guys. And so all of your math is right there. I have second, third, fourth, fifth grade. I have middle school, all of high school here, everything taught in high school, Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, Pre-Calculus, integrated math 1, 2, 3. I have statistics and calculus in there. So it's all free. You can go there. You can go to that platform where they're all uploaded and subscribe. That'd be super cool, you guys. Okay, Ashley, here's part two of the unit circle. Okay, so in the last one, I did the degrees and the radians. So here it is right here. So if you're going to take a screenshot, Ashley, I would take a screenshot of that. I'll review with this real quick, you guys. So the denominators are, so just think of degrees. So 30, 45, 60. So this is 0 degrees, and this is 108. I'm sorry, this is 0 degrees. I'm looking at it backwards. Sorry. So, sorry, 30, 45, 60. And here's 180. So minus 30 is 150. So 180 minus 45 is 135. 180 minus 60 is 120. And then 30, 45, 60. So 180 plus 30. 180 plus 45, 180 plus 60, and then this is 0, which is also 360. I should have wrote 360 out there because it's 360 all the way around right there. So yeah, sorry, looking at it backwards. It's hard to see these backwards. So 360 minus 30 is 330. 360 minus 45 is 315. 360 minus 60 is 300. That's in degrees. Okay, and then in terms of radians, I did the radians on the inside. So this is 0. I'm sorry, I'm over here again, so I'm backwards looking at it my way. So here's 0 right here, and then here's pi over 6. Pi over 4, pi over 3. Remember that in the last lesson, the denominators go 6, 4, 3. 6, 4, 3, 6, 4, 3. The denominators go 6, 4, 3. Over here, these are just pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3. Over here, this is 1 less. So 5 pi over 6, 3 pi over 4, 2 pi over 3. One more, 7 pi over 6, 5 pi over 4, 4 pi over 3. This is 1 less than twice. So I'm sorry, I didn't do it all the way around. So all the way around is 2 pi. So 1 less than twice. This is going to be 11 pi over 6. This is going to be 7 pi over 4. 5 pi over 3. So double the denominator and take 1 less than that, okay? So you can see how I explain that in part 1 of this right here. So I'm reminding you what we learned in geometry, SOHCAHTOA. This is, we're going to need this, you guys, for the unit circle. SOHCAHTOA, some old hippie caught another hippie. So some old hippie caught another hippie. I know there's another way to do this, but it's not appropriate to say in a classroom, you guys. So, but taking old apples, I like that way better, you guys, instead of the other way. And if it helps you remember the other way, far out, you guys. I'm not comfortable saying it. So the sine is the opposite angle over the hypotenuse. Sine is opposite over the hypotenuse. The cosine of an angle is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. That's what that says right there. Okay, so in my if you forgot special right triangles, then please go back and look in my geometry link. Where is it? Section 7.4. I go in detail of special right triangles, excuse me. Special right triangles, and you can find out that right here. But here are the special right triangles right here. A 30, 60, 90 triangle and a 45, 45, 90 triangle right there. Okay. So the shorter leg is 1. The longer leg on a 30, 60, 90 triangle is root 3 times the shorter leg. So it's 1 root 3. The hypotenuse is twice. on a isosceles right triangle or 45, 90, 1, 1, and I'm choosing 1 for a couple of reasons, because when you do the ratios, like 2/4 reduces to 1/2, so I'd rather have 1/2, so I'd rather have the smaller numbers right there. So the ratios are still the same, so this is 1, this is 1, and plus we're dealing with the unit circle with radius of 1 right here, and this is root 2 times that. So if this was 7 and that was 7, this would be 7 root 2 if that was the right angle, and this was a 45. But we're going to use those right here, okay? So remember, we have angles now that are in radians or degrees. So a 30-degree angle was pi over 6. So if I want to know the sine of a 30-degree angle, here's 30, it's opposite over hypotenuse, some old hippie. So it equals 1/2. Okay, so the sine of pi over 6 is also equal to 1/2. Okay, and then the tangent, so I'm sorry, the cosine is going to be adjacent over the hypotenuse, so root 3 over 2. That's what that says right there. Okay, and then so the cosine of 30 is adjacent over hypotenuse, root 3 over 2. So that's the same, I'm sorry, of 30, my bad, you guys, I'm right here. So I get root 3 over 2. And then the tangent right here, the tangent is opposite over adjacent, taking old apples. So old apples. So 1 over root 3. Now, it would be simplified to this, you guys. So 1 over root 3, if I simplified that, I'd multiply it by 1, which is root 3 over root 3, and then we get root 3 over, these guys get me just plain old 3 right there. So you can represent this as root 3 over 3 or 1 over root 3. I'll show you why I'm choosing to represent it like that in just a minute. Just some memorizing gimmicks I'll show you in just a minute. And then let's do 45, okay? So 45 degrees is the same as pi over 4. 45 is the same as pi over 4. So I'll pick this 45. So the sine is opposite over adjacent. So 1 over root 2. Okay, now notice this 1 over root 3 becomes root 3 over 3. So 1 over root 2 becomes root 2 over 2. I'll show you why I'm writing this like this and this like this in just a minute for memorizing, you guys. And then the cosine of this angle is adjacent over hypotenuse. So the cosine and sine are the same right there. And then the tangent of this angle is opposite over adjacent. 1 over 1 is just 1. Okay, and then let's do the 60 degrees. So here's 60 up here. So the sine is opposite over adjacent. So I get root 3 over 2. So 60 is the same as pi over 3. Okay, and then the cosine of this 60, right? I'm sorry, of 60. Yeah, the cosine of this 60 is adjacent. So caught another hippie. Adjacent is adjacent over hypotenuse right there, is 1/2 right there. And then the tangent of 60 is opposite over adjacent. Root 3 over 1 is root 3. Okay, now I'm going to show you some memorizing right here. So here is, well, before I get to that, so we'll come back to this in just a second right here. Okay, we'll come back to that. All right, so cosine is my x value, sine is my y value, and tangent is y over x, or sine over cosine. That's what tangent value is. And this, all ordered pairs are written in alphabetical order. Notice x comes before y and c comes before s. So these are in alphabetical order. We're going to include tangent right here. So it goes cosine, comma, sine, comma, tangent. Notice c comes before s comes before t. So those are in alphabetical order also when we represent them as triplets right there. Okay, so here we go. So this is how I remember the signs of things, you guys. Everything is positive in quadrant 1. Only the sine is positive in quadrant 2. I'll show you this in just a minute. Only the tangent is positive in quadrant 3, and only the cosine is positive in quadrant 4. So the phrase I remember is, all students take calculus, or AX, or if you go this way, ACTS, A-C-T-S, but I like this way. All students take calculus. Goes with quadrants 1, 2, 3, 4. All students take calculus. That's how I remember that right there. So the A means all of them. The S means only sine is positive. The T means only tangent is positive. The C means only cosine is positive right there. Okay, all students take calculus. All right, so let's see, let me get this guy. So here we go. I'm going to turn it sideways right here. So here's my angle measures in degrees and radians right here. So this is 0 degrees. It's also pi radians right there. Okay, I didn't put a pi in there. I thought I did. I'm sorry. No, sorry. It's 0 degrees and 0 radians. My bad, you guys. So 0 degrees and 0 radians. I'm doing radians on the inside. Remember, if it's 1 unit, then this is over 1 up 0. So the ordered pair is 1 comma 0. Remember, cosine comma sine. The cosine of 0 is 1. The sine of 0 is 0. Okay, and then over here, 1 unit up, so we went over 0 up 1, so it has the ordered pair 0 comma 1. So this is cosine comma sine. I'm sorry, ordered pair. I'm going backwards. My bad, you guys. So left, right. So cosine comma sine. So the cosine of 90 degrees is 0. The sine of 90 degrees is 1. Okay, so the cosine of pi over 2 is 0. The sine of pi over 2 is 1. Okay, over here, this is pi, or 180 degrees. Okay, and since I went to the left 1 up 0, it has the ordered pair -1, 0. Cosine sine. So the cosine of 180 is -1. The sine of 180 is 0. Okay, or the cosine of pi is -1 and the sine of pi is 0. Okay, and then down here we went over 0 down 1, so it has the ordered pair 0 -1 cosine sine. So the cosine of 270 degrees is 0. The sine of 270 degrees is -1. Okay, or 3 pi over 2 right there. Okay, all right, so here we go. I'm just Okay, so here's those units right here. So here's radians in degrees, 30, 45, 60, and then pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3. Okay, and then what did I say down here? All ordered pairs or triplets are written as cosine, comma, sine, comma, tangent right here. And don't forget, tangent is sine over cosine. Also, we move away from the axes. Notice this. So this is where I remember, all these denominators, as we move away from the x-axis right here, cosine goes 3, 2, 1. The square root of 3, the square root of 2, the square root of 1 is 1, so that's why it doesn't have a square root symbol on it. So they're all over 2, so root 3 over 2, root 2 over 2, root 1 over 2. Sine goes 1, 2, 3. So 1 over 2, root 2 over 2, root 3 over 2. Tangent goes 1/3, 1, 3. So that's why I left it like that. So you can see it. You can think of this as root 3 over 3, but 1/3, which is 1 over root 3, 1, and then root 3. 1/3, 1, 3. So that's how I remember as we go away from the x-axis. Cosine goes 3, 2, 1. Sine goes 1, 2, 3. Tangent goes 1/3, 1, 3, and it follows that pattern right there. Okay, now I'm just helping you get some ways to memorize that. So remember, here we go. So as we go away from the x-axis, cosine goes 3, 2, 1. Remember, these are all cosine, sine, tangent. Cosine, sine, tangent. C comes before S, comes before T. Okay, so cosine goes root 3 over 2, root 2 over 2, 1 over 2. Sine goes the opposite, 1, 2, 3. So it goes 1 over 2, root 2 over 2, root 3 over 2. Tangent goes 1/3, 1, 3. So it's 1 over root 3, 1, root 3 right there. Now, the other thing right here, all students take calculus. Remember, all of them are positive in quadrant 1. All of these are positive in quadrant 1. Over here, we're going to have the same numbering. Cosine's going to go 3, 2, 1. Sine's going to go 1, 2, 3. Tangent's going to go 1/3, 1, 3. Except here, only the sine is positive. All students take calculus. Only the sine's positive. So it's going to be the same ordered pairs, except only the middle ones are going to be positive. The cosine and the tangents are negative. So check that out. So it's the same numbers as over here, except only the sine is positive. Okay? Over here, all students take the tangent's positive. So they're going to be the same numberings. The cosine's going to go 3, 2, 1. The sine's going to go 1, 2, 3. Tangent's going to go 1/3, 1, 3. Okay? And so only the tangent's positive. The sines and cosines are going to be negative. It's the same ordered triplets, except only the tangent is positive in that quadrant right there. Okay? So they're the same ordered triplets, except only the tangents are positive in that one right there. Okay, and then so over here, this is my cosine one that's positive. So only the cosine, the first ordered pair. So it still goes, cosine goes 3, 2, 1. Sine goes 1, 2, 3. Tangent goes 1/3, 1, 3, and they're all roots, except only the cosine is positive right there. Okay, so I don't know if you want to do a screenshot of that, but that's how you memorize the unit circle. So all students take calculus, and radians goes, cosine goes 3, 2, 1, sine goes 1, 2, 3, and tangent goes 1/3, 1, 3, and then all students take calculus, and so that helps you on the unit circle and all the sines and cosines. So hope that helps you guys. I'll see you later. Peace out.